14 minutes into 7 o'clock, Lephalale FM 87.8, the frequency beyond the bushveld. In case you've just joined us, my name is Ratlo Mabula, and do remember that Lephalale Talk is on our video every Monday to Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. Now, besides the fact that Lephalale FM is officially turning a year tomorrow, which is the 22nd of September, this very same day is World Rhino Day. Last year, Exxaro successfully relocated 10 white rhinos from its Manketti Game Reserve in Lephalale to Botswana. A few months later, 4 adult cows gave birth to healthy calves within the first 6 months after the release. According to Exxaro, no security or poaching incidents occurred at Orapa Game Farm, and therefore, all rhinos are safe and secure. To talk more on this, I am on the line joined by Mr. Marius Fuls, who is the researcher manager at Exxaro's Manketti Game Reserve and relocation project manager. And without further ado, I'm going to engage my guest. Mr. Fuls, good evening and a warm welcome to Lephalale Talk.
Good evening and evening to the listeners.
Are you well?
Well, thanks myself.
Oh, I'm fine, thanks. All right. Now, this project that I just read in the introduction, who initiated it?
It was initiated by the Game Rangers Association of Africa, who approached me with a request to relocate some white rhino to Botswana in a range expansion project.
All right. So were there safety concerns of rhinos that resulted in this move?
It wasn't really safety concerns. Part of the SADC Rhino Management Group's strategy for rhino is to expand the range of rhino so that we can have more breeding populations over the SADC region to establish more rhino. So it was more a matter of expanding the range of rhino into other rhino range states and also to supplement genetic diversity in existing populations. All right.
So does this leave Manketti Game Reserve with no rhino, or there are some that are still left there?
No, we still have rhino left. We believe that Exxaro has a responsibility towards biodiversity, but part of that responsibility also entails supplementing other rhino meta-populations in different countries.
Yeah. All right. Now, on many occasions, whenever we hear about rhinos killed, the big issue that we come to a realization of is the fact that very soon these endangered species will go extinct, which will harm our ecosystem amongst other things, including our heritage and so on. Now, in this instance, what will this move mean to everyone concerned? Exxaro, nature conservationists, as well as the rhinos, which are most important in this?
But you see, what it actually does is we help establish another rhino population in another country where they're also safe. That creates another breeding population where rhino can breed up their numbers. And hopefully get that population to a point where we can reestablish rhino from there to other areas again. Basically what we're doing is we counter the amount of poaching of rhino by outbreeding the poaching, if you want to call it like that. But together with that, it's also very critical to look at genetic diversity. In other words, you can't have the same rhino interbreeding constantly. If we give another population new genetics, it makes for a more stable and a more lively population as far as genetics is concerned.
Have you ever had this project before?
From Exxaro, no. This was the first project that we had.
Yeah, and so far you would say that it has become a success.
It was very successful. We sent them 10 rhino, all females. 4 of them were adult females with calves, and those adults were already pregnant when we relocated them. The other 2 were young adults, and all 4 of the adult cows actually already gave birth in the first 6 months after relocation.
Wow. All right. So in all these, how much money was used?
All in all, including the transport cost, the capture cost, filming cost, security, everything, the total cost of the project was more or less around 1 million rand.
All right. Now, earlier on, you spoke about Game Rangers Association of Africa, which has approached you to ensure that these moves, gets conducted or becomes a success. Now, after the time they have approached you, just how long did it take for the final relocation to ultimately be conducted?
Well, it took about 2 years. Firstly, just to get the approval from both parties, from Exxaro and from Botswana side.
Yeah.
You get approvals to do this, and then you go through a very lengthy process as far as the paperwork is concerned, permits and everything. The planning phase, site visits to the new site for us to ensure that we send rhino to the right area. Security needs to be arranged. There's a lot of arrangements. I think about 2 years from project initiation to finalization.
All right. Perhaps let me just ask that I've heard you mentioned about one of the major or main reasons for the relocation of these rhinos being that they are purposes of breeding and so on. If I am ignorant, please forgive me for that. But I just want to find out that how many of rhinos would you say that you are satisfied if they are bred, and as a result you could bring back those that you have taken to Botswana? Is there a possibility that those that have been relocated to Botswana will be located back to South Africa?
Part of the contract is that we will get the same amount of rhino back from Botswana after 10 years.
Yeah.
But it won't be the same individuals. It will be different individuals of the same makeup. In other words, females of more or less the same age that we relocated. And thereby we can actually supplement our genetics again, because Limpopo Game Park had some rhino there.
Okay.
They just didn't have enough to actually get a good breeding stock going.
Yeah.
So if we get in different rhino of different genetics back, then we supplement our genetics on the side again.
Okay. So how many are you expecting to have where you will be satisfied and say you have reached a goal?
Well, it doesn't really matter how many we'll have. We'll get 10 back after 10 years. But if you extrapolate over 10 years the breeding potential, those 10 rhino probably could multiply to about 30 rhino. And including those that we already have, the population of Limpopo Game Park would probably increase, I'd say, about tenfold in the next 10 years.
Now, just out of curiosity, would you enlighten me what microchipping of the bones is? This is of the horns, rather, is. This is something that I've come across actually in the newsletter released by Exxaro.
Yes, well, microchipping of rhino horn is actually legislation these days.
Yeah.
A rhino owner is legally bound to insert microchips in rhino horns at the first possible opportunity whenever rhino is immobilized. That entails drilling a small hole into the rhino horn, inserting a very small microchip and then sealing it. And then we also put a microchip in the shoulder of the rhino. The reason for that is, should the rhino horn be found somewhere and it does have a microchip, then that microchip can relate back to a poaching incident, which can increase the potential of prosecution and also to identify where the specific rhino might have been poached, etc.
All right. Now, we all are aware that the unfortunate rhino poaching situation in South Africa has raised eyebrows, which is very bad and affecting our ecosystem, amongst other things. As Exxaro, what message would you like to convey to the masses out there about being on the lookout for poaching and any other practice that is likely to harm our species or environment?
Well, the thing is, in the rhino poaching war, there's only two sides. It's the right side and the wrong side. And the public needs to make a decision where they stand. And I heartily believe that the biggest majority of South Africa's population stand on the right side of rhino poaching, which means that whenever somebody hears about potential rhino poaching threats, they would contact the local police office, security agencies, and there's a lot of good people that really walk the extra mile to follow up on this information. As a matter of fact, a lot of the rhino poacher arrests that we do have come from information gathered by the public.
That's very interesting. So this says, because I was just asking myself if the public, for example, the community of Lephalale at large, seem to care or is aware of rhino poaching and the dangers that are involved in it.
Yes, they definitely need to contact the local police. I'm even willing to give my number they can contact me directly, and we can put the specialist crime unit or even my own field rangers onto the case, we'll definitely look into it, and it'll be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, what is that contact details?
My contact number, if anybody has information, is 083 305 3104.
All right. Okay, I'll read it after this discussion, moving right along on the program. Now, any statement that you'd like to leave as your final parting shot?
Yeah, I'd like to bring under the public's attention that in saving rhino, we not only save a species, we save protected areas, because in many cases, protected areas exist because of rhino. If we take rhino out of those systems, those protected areas, those natural pockets of wildlife that still have in South Africa might lose their reason to exist. And then another very important message is that rhino poaching has gone beyond the point of environmental crime. There are rangers being killed in the process. There are poachers being killed in the process. That makes it a human life issue. It's even more important than just the life of an animal or a species. So it's not only an environmental crime anymore.
It is a vicious circle.
It is a vicious circle, and it's a cancer that eats into the fabric of society. And we really don't need that. There are really people putting their lives on the line for a species. And if we stop rhino poaching, we stop a crime against humanity.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Marius Fuls, you are the research manager at Exxaro's Manketti Game Reserve and relocation project leader. Thank God for awarding Lephalale FM an opportunity to have a discussion with you on this.
Thanks a lot. More than welcome.
All right. Lephalale FM 87.8, the frequency beyond the bushveld is 25 minutes into 7 o'clock.